Oh, welcome once again to Sky's coverage of the Windmill tournament in Amsterdam. The sun is shining and the crowds are gathering in the stands opposite as we approach this mixed final in the Windmill tournament. Myself, Tom Stiles, and I'm joined in the commentary position on this beautiful afternoon by the one and only Dr. David Price. How are you, David?
I'm very well, thank you. And fully titled. I don't get that very often. Yes, this game is going to be a bit of a nail-biter. These teams have already met once, as is normal within the Swiss format. Teams often meet each other a couple times, particularly at the end of the tournament. And I feel like I've spoken to the GB team yesterday evening, and they've got something to prove. They did lose that game, but they didn't get to show them everything they wanted to on the field. So this very large GB roster will have something to prove against this mixed match bag of pickups for the SOC game.
And they're even not that sure about the team title, but yeah, SOC game we're going to call them, in the white and Great Britain mixed, using this as a preparation tournament for Worlds in 2 weeks' time. Dathan with the disc, Colt Hammer cutting, and receives it. He's got a deep shot going fast, being chased down by Nate Caiston, who's going to bid on this, but great early grab, gets up early. Sam Turner with the big grab there for Great Britain. Dathan cutting back for the dump. He's going to have to reset. Does so to Vile. Vile looking for options into the end zone and nearly takes his time, not wanting to hurry this. Floats in for Dathan. Dathan's going to read this, goes to his ground, takes a bit of skin off his knees for his trouble. Good, quick, early point for GB. Oh, is there going to be a call? Did it affect the play at all? I think there might have been a pick in the stack there, but Didn't affect Dathan and Vile and their communication and their point, unless the cuts had stopped. No, point given. Some incredible USA players visiting Europe for this tournament. Ben Wiggins, Sockey's long-time coach, and a player and coach that a lot of people regard as one of the very, very best in the game. His contributions to coaching and the blogs he's written about the sport and how to coach the sport are the gold standard in a lot of people's eyes. His wife, Heidi Marie Wiggins, is on the line as well. Wearing the bright yellow socks and the 23 shirt. We'll see plenty of her as the sock game team take their first offensive point. But Great Britain off to a good start there. Deep shot received from Sam Turner. Took that high, and that's I think we're going to see a little bit of that from this mixed squad.
Yeah, there's some very big receivers on this GB mixed team, the likes of Turner, of Noblet, and Robert White. But now, defending for the first time in the game,
Wiggins, Duisberg manages to find Sullivan. Sullivan to Pape. Pape looking at Duisberg. Been marked out quite well. The Bevan covering Duisberg. That might be a good match, but they're switching around, and it's Great Britain have managed to get it very quickly. Great Britain getting that block. Duisberg all over the back of Freeman. Darts low, trying to get a disc out, manages to get it to Bevan. And a call. Great pressure from Great Britain, getting the turn from the sock game team. Sock game were in a late afternoon game yesterday against the Czech Republic in the semi, which we also streamed. And I think they're going to see an extra level of intensity and depth from this Great Britain side, which perhaps they didn't get against the Czechs. Bevan has a high stall here. Flip into Lily Huang, who just jumps out of the end zone as she receives that. Oh, so it's not Lily, it's Chrissy. Looking for Maura Alperin as she finds, and a nice disc around the back from Chrissy Hunter. And 2-0 for Great Britain. They're making a fast start in this game. The sock game team having to go back up the pitch, have a rethink about how they're going to approach this one.
Yeah, it was a lovely bit of poaching there by Callum Easton. Snagged it out of the air, read the play perfectly. Took a little while for them to get their O jam on, but they got that sorted. And now a break up. Let's see if they can propel this momentum into the rest of the game. Tom is currently trying to learn some of the faces and names. With a team like Sock Game, it's hard to get the names and faces right without the numbers. But hopefully, they've got some numbers on their shirts for this final game.
Well, they have got numbers, but the numbers aren't unique, which I kind of think is a helpful thing to have in your numbers. Most of these players are fairly distinctive, so we'll hopefully not mix up Idaho and Dina Dumanskaya. Big respect to Sock Game for taking the party to bits last night as well. They really were in full force. Dina Dumanskaya there with the disc through to Sam Harkness. Harkness looking for Devon. Oh, great grab, high in the sky, down the line. The 13 shirt, down to Lucy Williams in the side. Into the end zone. Brilliant work from the fast-running Schneider there. Plays for Johnny Bravo, who's also got some connections back here in Holland. Currently finishing medical school. And Sock Game running that one in without a lot of challenge from Great Britain Mix, showing the quality that they've got. This tournament throwing up some very exciting matchups, a sort of play that you don't see very many tournaments around the world. The mixed division, an enormous affair here. 40 teams And they use the Swiss draw format, so you play 5 rounds of Swiss draw. An incredibly effective algorithm then mashes together all your results. The top 4 teams then play bracketed play quarters, semis and finals, and the rest of the teams carry on with 3 more rounds of Swiss draw, and that gives you a final power ranking in the tournament. What's your degree in, David? Is it physics?
Well, my degree is in mathematics and my PhD is in applied mathematics, so yeah, a lot of physics.
So you would be able to explain the linear regression to us, would you?
I guess I could try to do so, yes.
So apparently that's what this Swiss draw power ranking system is based on, a linear regression.
So in some way they're fitting a straight line to the scores, maybe the weighted average in some way, and then your distance from that is probably the way in which you're ranked.
Sort of, I think. So the idea is that at the end of this you have a power ranking number. So your number might be 1.5 or negative 2.5. And if a team with a negative 2.5 was to play a team with a 1.5 ranking, then the idea is that when those 2 teams play, that's a huge pull just dropped outside the edge of the pitch here. If the difference between your power rankings is 4, then when those 2 teams play, you would expect the team with the higher ranking to win the game by 4 points. That's the theory. So it's come straight out, so it's coming straight back in, way up the pitch. Dom Dathan for Great Britain Mixed. Sock game setting up their cup we saw yesterday. PY putting the pressure on, flick over the top. Dathan with such good hands and dropping in and making that one look relatively easily. A poor pull and into the end zone.
That was Sam Vile for Niamh Delaney. An old connection there from Cambridge back at WCC in Lecco. And of course this GB Mixed team playing a lot together last year with only a few new additions from the squad that went to Copenhagen and won. So early on, GB stamping their authority on this game. 3-1 up. Do get in contact with us on Twitter. It's David_Price and @Tom Styles, or you can also alternatively use the hashtag Windmill2016.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people been watching the coverage this morning already. Send us a picture of you and your telly, wherever you're watching it. Robert Fruth is watching again, says thanks Sky Magazine. There's a picture of him and his beer and a sofa. Patrick Campry watching. Caroline Sewell is watching. Lucas Carey's also watching what looks like he's trying to do some work, or he's pretending to do some work, but he's got the telly on in the background. And Dominic L has been watching the women's game. Had a few technical issues getting our internet connection up. GB Guts is watching. And Diana Ching, final game, watching Mike Noblet and the team, Windmill Tourney, hashtag Windmill 2016. So the Amsterdam sunshine is baking down onto this AstroTurf pitch, creating a hot and humid atmosphere down here. The rubber crumb surface is basically black. You know, it looks green from up there, but in between all the fronds of grass is a black underlay which sucks up the heat. And when you're down on it, you can feel the heat coming up through the floor, especially towards the end of the day. So we're protected a little bit. We're being off the ground. We've got a lot of a breeze blowing around us. Myself and David Price up in the commentary booth. You're listening to Sky's coverage of this mixed final in the Windmill tournament. Great Britain 3-1 to the good at the moment, and sock game starting with Dumanskaya.
I'm going to start with one of my typical rants about pulling, which if you've tuned in before, I've gone on about before, and one of the keys of the game is getting your pulls in, and that last point was a demonstration of that. Sock game, giving a short field, and GB have done the same, but luckily it's gone past the brick.
pressure from Robert White, chasing down hard against Frank Devin Barak. Looking for Dumenskaya again, but White straight away. The disc goes beyond Heidi Marie. And Heidi Marie Wiggins and Lily Huang. A little bit of a tussle as they ran towards that disc. Was there any chance that Heidi Marie was going to get to it? No, decline from Heidi Marie Wiggins. Not sure exactly what the call was. Maybe some obstruction as she was running into the zone. Bevan now for Great Britain. Options. Finds Huang. Flips the disc across to her. Bobbles around, decides to go short. Robert White coming, impressive defense from him already. Fakes that deep shot, floats it nicely into the path of Bevan, and a pick has been called. It's my first time watching Robert White, but impressive in his first chase down there. Almost got the block and making himself available. Huang available again. Former Iceni player now with the GB mixed. Down the line, breaks the grab, gets his hand low. Beautiful work. Looking to find a way into the end zone here. Finds Bevan just in front of the end zone. Callum Easton cutting in there. Huang available, just cutting out. Who's it going to be? Finds that.
Jonathan Clark. That was Jonathan Clark there with the goal, playing some very important little cuts there into the handle position. And what GB did very well there was actually Robert White on the force. He was adjusting and shuffling side to side to stop the options that he could hear coming from the sideline. It stopped the SOC game players taking the options that they wanted and getting the turn there. I think the foul call was probably earlier on. Maybe Heidi felt like Lily was bullying around a bit too much, but I think Lily then argued that it may eventually have not have affected the turnover, and that she would never have got to it. Potentially that's what the argument would have been about, but it was very amicable and very well spirited. And GB coming out now with another break to go at 4-1. It's a very aggressive start for by the British. We'd like to see that. And let's see if they can keep it up and stop the SOC game players getting back in this game.
It was one of the things the Polish mixed team were reflecting yesterday after they got beaten fairly badly by Great Britain mixed, was that the physicality from Great Britain was sort of an ever-present part of the game, and it's at times was extremely evident, maybe bordering on it being a little bit too much. So I'm sure it'll be reflected in the spirit feedback that the Polish team give to Great Britain. Dom Dathan snaps his wrist and sends that one flying. This time enough roll on it to get it down to the ground. It's bobbling around. Jeff Pape to Heidi Marie Wiggins, and it's a zone from Great Britain. Or is it? It's just a poachy one. No, it is a zone, isn't it? Yeah, we've got a Dathan covering. Comes across to Pape again. Heidi Marie Wiggins just running around the back of the cup, making himself available for the quick crash, but it's not going to be taken. Nate Caiston across to Lucy Williams now. Williams taking away the options very fast here. Great Britain mix. Oh, a little pop there. Wiggins perfectly positioned to receive that disc and across to Pape again. Goes to ground, picks himself back up again. Harkness toes in, and discussion is very insistent from Great Britain that it's a turnover. Harkness's foot was out the sideline. So Anya Godbold on the disc, looking for the big fake down the line. Oh, great disc for a great little cut from Dathan there, making himself available on the inside, and Godbold picks him out straight away. Sam Rayner now rising high, catching that disc. Cuts coming one at a time. Godbold cutting again, far side of the pitch. Bidding and going down low. Matthew Hodgson takes that disc. At the moment, Great Britain mixed. Oh, and there's been a call on the play. Celebrations brought to a close. And 4-1 is the score. Great Britain moving into a dominant position, but the disc has been brought back. Hodgson's chased down and collection from low on the floor. And a conversation between Jeff Pape. Pape and Rayner discussing this for some time now. Nate Castine. It was a high stall count. There was a stall out, so Pape picking it up to Nate Castine. Castine again. Quick exchange of discs. Drops it through the middle to Lucy Williams. Dumps it back. 28 shirt. Grabs Amp on the edge of the end zone now. Looking for options to dram it in. Wiggins again. Harkness cutting out. Great cut just in front of the end zone. Brilliant work from the Sock Game team. They jam it in. The 28 shirt for Sock Game, making it all happen. Available all over the pitch, and a real team effort there to work that disc in from the team in white. Having just recovered from what looked like a point at the other end. A quick discussion about whether that was a timeout, a stall out or not. Turns out it was. And they work it up nicely to the other end of the pitch.
I think there might have also been a discussion around tapping it in. I think since that was a stoppage, they should have really counted down and tapped it in. But either way, very well played by Sock Game. They moved the disc very quickly, and GB didn't really have a chance to set up their defense. The two coaches there having a discussion. Maybe there was some miscommunication between what the actual call was. I think Rich Hims, the GB mixed coach, thought it was a pick, whereas Sock Game had actually called a stall out. So GB now up, still up, sorry, 4-2. So GB now on offense. Vile, Fields to Freeman. Freeman back to Vile. Colehammer isolated in the lane. Doesn't like the option. Gets it back to Freeman. Freeman isolated. Takes on to Colehammer. Oh, but right in the middle there. I think that's Sewell gets that block, giving Sock Game a chance to get a break back.
I thought it was Harkness actually, but I might be wrong. The option down the line is Nate Castine. Points. Oh, low disc there. Keeps it up. Nate Castine again. Flicks it, working it beautifully. And that's point in the end. I think that's Matt Sewell who's caught the final disc there, wasn't it? I'm not sure if that was Matt Sewell that actually completed the point for Sock Game, proving how dangerous they were. Yeah, he did. I think he's got the number 9 shirt on. Sock Game really stepping it up. Yesterday there was quite a lot of errors in their play, not connecting quite as crisply as they would have wanted, but they've realized they can't continue in that way if they're going to beat this Great Britain mixed side who set off at a pace, extending a 4-1 lead, but 2 on a bounce for Sock Game. Have stopped the rot, brought the game back within reach. And I think we're going into quite a spectacular final in the mixed division here in Windmill. The Amsterdam sunshine treating us to an afternoon of absolutely glorious weather. And the fans sheltered under the stands. The sponsors' tents are out here. The coverage from Skyed with myself, Tom Stiles, and David Price with you all afternoon. We've got the open final following this one. Dathan at the back of the end zone. Anya Godbold. And it's a big zone from Sock Game. Turner looking to Godbold. She pops through nicely. Looking for a way through that. Idaho is going to be pushing that over the top. Well, there's plenty of opportunity to bring that one in from the big receiver, but pressure here is going to be brought. No, it's Lucy Williams now for Sock Game, so that's a big turn of pressure. No pressure at all. There was no receiver there. The disc from Williams was to an empty space in the field. And Steve Colthammer was the receiver who made that drop, but also covered that part of the field using his huge physical presence. Steve Colthammer having experience in Ironside of the USA. Dathan calling the double team there, just asking the Sock Game players to move back a little bit. Very physical. You've got Dumanskaya, the big hands, the Russian girl with the 44 shirt on the back. An enormous athlete. 6'3" probably. And she was throwing some shapes on the dance floor with the rest of the Sock Game team last night. And now causing a menace in the middle of the cup as the Great Britain mixed team managed to find their way through that cup. Colthammer dishes it nicely to Vile. Vile takes his time, fake, drops the shoulder, manages to just spread the play nicely. Dathan's got it now. There's great work through that cup from Vile there. It's Abramula covering Idaho. Managing to find Colthammer high on the stall count there. Dishes it into the end zone from Vile. Colthammer and Vile connecting finally, but all the work was done by the handlers working it through that cup, taking it steadily. 4-person cup from Sock Game. First zone we've seen. We didn't see any zone in the women's final, but here against in the mixed final we've seen a fair bit of zone already, David.
Yeah, it was very aggressive as well. I can't tell from here, but it did look a bit like it was double teaming a lot. And the only way that GB came away with it was by bringing another player in, which meant that the double team was perfectly legal. But they did well, eventually getting a bit of patience, went back and around, swung it across, and Anya had a lovely break in the middle of the field. Anya Godbold finding the player in the middle, getting in behind the back of the wall, and eventually punching their way through.
The Sock Game team bringing out the zone there. Thank you, Elliot. The skied mastermind, Elliot Trotter, reduced to the role of water boy out here, bringing myself and David the drinks, as we're stuck up a scaffolding tower right next to our cameraman Hilko Boekma, who's bringing you the pictures, and Mike Palmer, as ever, pressing the buttons and making the magic happen with the replays. Heidi Wiggins finding fast-moving Steve Sullivan on that far line. Nate Castine, Duisberg now. Duisberg down to Amp, pivots around. Mara Alpern is keeping her hands low and stopping the pass. It's getting high in the stall count. 9. And a pick has been called. Duisberg cutting around the back of Sullivan. Robert White couldn't follow him, called the pick, probably on 7. And just a little discussion about whether we're coming in on 7 or 8. And the disc is nicely found to Nora Carr. Carr been impressive. White goes to the ground, trying to get a touch on that one, doesn't manage it. Back to Rita. Rita looking down the line. Carr available. Big bid from Chrissy Hunter. Doesn't take it. But there's GB mixed team really keen to get hold of the disc. The disc over the top, it's floating in the wind. It was for Duisberg, but even his enormous range can't reach up into the sky and collect that. Well read by GB Mix, bringing it down. That's a turnover, forcing the Americans to make some risky discs. Not exactly American team this. They've got some Russian pickups. The connection between Seattle and Russia is that the Sockeye team have run a couple of skills clinics over in Russia and made some connections over there, and they've decided to all meet up here in Amsterdam for a team where they can all get together, and great to see them here. Fast hands bouncing around there from the American defender. Bevan with the disc now. And it's a very big poach from Nora Carr there. Floats into space, is going to be run down nicely though. Disc into the end zone. Chrissy Hunter chasing this one. It's going to flow long enough for her. There's going to be some pressure from the American. Pulls it out of the air just ahead of the fast advancing Steve Sullivan. Takes a high five of the crowd. Great chase down and superb disc right into her path. GB take this one out to 6-3, and a fantastic disc and long game from Great Britain.
Yeah, Callum Easton there, good heads-up play. I don't think the initial break was intended for him, but he saw it was floating, went and got it, and then immediately threw that deep shot to Chrissy Hunter. Well played, GB, especially applying the pressure there in that early D point, stopping the likes of Dursberg, who's a huge target for the Sock Game team. So very well played, both on D and on offense in that point. Up 6-3, half is at 8, games are to 15. Thoroughly enjoying this so far, Tom.
It's great to see so many of these Great Britain players. I don't get a chance to make it to many of our domestic games these days. Family commitments keeping me away, but here at the big international events, I'm here in Amsterdam for Windmill, and then absolutely massively looking forward to, as I'm sure you are, David, the World's Week down in London. See 120 of the world's best teams from all over the globe come together for what I'm sure will be an absolutely brilliant week, and we've got some fantastic coverage to bring you from there. But let's get back to this mixed final from the Windmill tournament. Harkness to Williams to Heichel. That's Schneider, Barrick, and a block from No Complaint. It's just the Americans arguing with each other. And then a discussion. That was James Freeman with the block there. Just came through and got it. Mike Noblet on the far side. Jacks it down that line, and Noblet continues his run, but he's not going to be able to receive it. Avril Hunter running around for the reset. Oh, one-handed fast run, single grab, and Sam Rayner brings it in for Great Britain mixed. 7-3 they lead. Sock game getting turned, getting burned, and impressive stuff from the mixed team from Great Britain.
Yeah, James Freeman, the Fire of London legend. You can have a drink now, Steve. Just came out of nowhere. I think he just read the play very well, and Skip Sewell there being a bit lazy, didn't attack the disc and allowed Freeman that window to get the defense. I'm not sure what's going on the field. It might be a timeout. I might be wrong. Yeah, no, I think they're just calling their line. And GB really shoving it to the Sock Game team. They're going to have to change something up. They're being a bit too lazy on their offense and letting GB run away with this game. 7-3 GB. Oh, the wind is picking up a tad as our tent is about to fly over the top of us. I think it might be dying down. But yeah, the wind has definitely picked up from the women's game earlier, so we might see a few more zone looks.
Yeah, the production crew down on the ground are being sheltered by a tent, which is rapidly turning into a kite. As the Windmill crew who've enjoyed 3 days of fantastic ultimate and great atmosphere, a real party atmosphere every night around the food area. Massive game of mingle has happened, which was great fun. Wiggins for Sock Game. On a block from Lily Huang and a discussion. These two having a great markup. I already had a couple of discussions. I think you can rely on the both of them to have a sensible conversation, uncontested. Back that one, back in. Heidi Marie Wiggins, Ben Wiggins' wife. Ben is on the sideline and coaching, and a pick has been called. And Heidi Marie showing her skills. A Seattle player. With the disc at the moment, you can see Dina Dumanskaya in the 44 shorts. One of the Russian athletes that this team have picked up. Jeff Pape blasts it low to Nora Carr. She's going to send it deep. She does, but the disc deep, which I think was intended to hit Rita downfield, didn't make it. Goes to ground. Bevan picking up now for Great Britain Mix, an opportunity to take the half to 3, which will be a real blow to Sock Game. But error in judgment and miscommunication with Mara Alperin, who's the intended receiver of that disc. When Jeff Pape blasting it through, I think to an advancing Nora Carr, but she didn't read it. Didn't see it coming. And that's a turnover back again. So Margarita Pashakova and Dumanskaya picking that one off and getting it quickly started to Nora Carr, to Jeff Pape right on the edge of the end zone. Sock Game about to score and bring this one a little bit closer, but Pape is under some pressure here. Still can't hide. Just flicks it over the top. And in the middle of all that mixture, 2 players finish on the floor. Heidi Marie Wiggins and Lily Huang, and she's hurt her ankle there. That was Bevan taking out one of his own players, poaching off a little bit. And we hope Lily's all right. 2 weeks out from Worlds. We don't want to see anyone with an injury. The Great Britain team are very well supported by an excellent team of medical and physio staff. But nevertheless, even a couple of days off from training is not what any of these players want. I think Lily's walking a bit looser already. Maybe just a little knock or a bruise rather than anything more serious. So relief, and the conversation continues down on the pitch. Jeff Pape. And tapping it back in. Just floated over the top. Repeat of exactly what happened before. Sam Harkness. I think that's Harkness. Even though they've got the numbers on the back, we don't have a roster that contains the numbers. I think there's Sam Harkness that's taken the grab. And Sock Game bring it back within 3, but it's still Great Britain mixed with a strong start in this one. The timeout's been called. No, not a timeout. They just decided to circle up and have a chat. They circle up in between every single point?
Yeah, they try and circle up in every point so they can all be on the same page. Then they'll do their little slap and go to the line. It's very quick. It's not a timeout.
It's that level of discipline. Rich Hims leads Great Britain legend. He's been playing a heck of a long time. I remember him coming through university and junior ranks. So Rich has been an ever-present member of various Great Britain squads at different levels for a long, long time now, coaching this mixed side. His wife's on the GB Women's Masters side. Dathan and Godbold kicking things off. A big zone from the Sock Game team. Dumanskaya, oh sorry, it's disc across the top to Vile. Vile's very happy in a zone situation. Happily throw it around all day. Lucy Barnes to Vile. Jams it through to Godbold. Godbold to Dathan. To Vile. The 3 of them happy to just work it around. Dathan going to fake around. Try and find Vile. Oh, that's beautiful work from Dathan and Vile making the play down the line. Just the two of them involved in this so far. Anya Godbold lurking beyond if he needs the reset, and he might need it in a second. She's available back, and she gets it. Is there a swing on the far side? No, just uses Dathan again, putting it back into the cup. Now she crashes herself. Great confidence from these three players. Little hole there. Disc around is perfection. Finds the middle of the pitch, releases all the pressure. Back to Vile and Dathan again. It's nice work from this handling line. Vile just outside the end zone. Not changing the defense at all here. Dathan coming and crashing in. Is he in? Yes, they're in now. Opens the door, unlocks the gate, barges the way in. That's half. 8-4. Great Britain mixed with a great first half.
Yeah, some nice patience there between Vile, Godbold and Dathan. I would want to adjust it slightly, and I think they should try and unlock the zone a little bit more by coming out and going around. You saw it there. At one point, Dathan got a bit stuck, had to go back to Godbold, and the way they got out of it was they swung it into the middle. If they can continue that swing and get into this far corner where the zone don't want them to be, they'll open up some more options. But lovely play. I think they always had a faith in their handlers that they would be able to get just little resets and keep the disc moving. That's half, and we'll join you back in a couple seconds.
So while the half's going on, just take the opportunity to thank the various different sponsors that we've got. No doubt Mike has been showing you the different sponsors that we have. We're wearing 5 Ultimate shirts with our big Skyd logo on. We look the biz, it's fair to say. And the Windmill tournament has made us feel very welcome out here. They have an incredible setup. Huge number of volunteers, and the volunteers get looked after like royalty and don't have quite as many jobs to do individually, so they get a chance to watch some of the games. They get an area at the back of the tent which is just for volunteers, which they refer to as Paradise. It has food and drink available that's only available for volunteers. The tournament crew is an extremely well drilled and well organised affair. A huge committee of people, and seemingly everybody in the Dutch Ultimate scene wanting to be involved in the organising and running of this tournament. They have 80 teams here from all across the world, and the number of applications they get each year is more and more. So I think they had something like 160 different teams apply. Certainly the mixed division, which is 40 teams this year, had as many teams on the waiting list as it did actually get in. They run a Swiss draw format, which is a quite remarkable bit of maths and analytics. It very quickly leads to very close games. Now, myself and David are with you all afternoon, and we've now got our internet connection up in the town. _Price. Price is P-R-Y-C-E.
Yep, thanks, Tom. A quick shout out to some friends of mine watching at home. My housemate Sam Brown and his family, Jess Gamble, and are all watching the game, being educated by the young Fire of London player and Sam Brown. For those of you watching at home, do note there are separate links for each game. So while some games are finished, namely the game we had earlier against Switzerland and Germany, that's just now a recording, so you should be able to watch that. And the game we're watching now is live between GB and Sock Game. Another shout out here from Abhinav Shankar, one of the Indian coaches for the women's national team going to World Ultimate Guts Championship in a couple of weeks. He's saying he's enjoying our commentary. See you in a few days. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing the Indians. Fantastic group of athletes. I always love watching them, and I'm really excited to see the multitude. They've got so many teams now coming, and it's really great to see the growing nation. I kind of want you guys to smash a few teams while you're here as well.
Good. Rich Hims coming to say hello to the commentary team, myself and David up here in the stands. So live Ultimate streamed is a rare thing. We're not able to do this all the time. Budgets at most tournaments restrict it, but the Windmill have sorted it out. And so what we'd like you to do, whether you're watching this live or you're watching it on replay, just take that share link at the top and stick it in your social media stream. Let people know that there's high quality coverage available of the sport that you love, and people that have never seen it before will have a chance to see it, and people who are into the sport already will get to see some of the best play. It'd be great to see our numbers go up. We've currently got about 600 people watching the stream. We'll see if we can push that up to 1,000. That'd be great, but it's going to take you to do a little bit of work. Pop it in your social media stream as we join Heidi Marie Wiggins on the disc for the sock game team down at the second half of this mixed final here at the Windmill tournament. Big scrap as the players go up, and it's a Great Britain mixer come down with that from the mixer, and a throwaway from Freeman. He gesticulates towards his teammates. A lack of communication there between the downfield cutters, Robert White to Callum Easton, who had cut deep, and Freeman pointed into the corner, which is where he expected them to go. It's in exactly where he sent the disc. Nate Caiston comes, big American, familiar to those who've been watching Sockeye play over a number of years, one of their star players. Pressure from Bevan, who bids. Snyder to Sullivan. Sullivan's about to jack it deep, but he doesn't. Brings it back to Caiston again. Dumanskaya cutting. Takes it, goes low, stands up again and dusts herself off, looking for a quick pass, and manages to eventually dish it to Caiston, who escapes the attentions of Robert White. Snyder looking for the deep shot. Harkness making himself a menace deep, manages to find Sullivan again. No options down the line. Finished Caiston into the end zone. Snyder's there, puts it in, and sock game start the second half exactly as they would have wished to, with a solid point. Having made that initial mistake, Great Britain have given back to them. It was absolutely flawless for that second bit of offense there.
Yeah, it was very unfortunate there. I think Freeman just wanted the cut from White just to continue, and he could score it in the corner, but his head wasn't up. He didn't really know what was going on, and he cut back inside. Callum Easton though had a wonderful grab under pressure. Unfortunate for GB, but well played by Sock game. Took the advantage, moved it all the way up beautifully, mostly through Castine and Schneider. Schneider actually immediately back on for this defense point, along with Anna Pushtovaya, Amy Williams, Sam Harkness, I think. Lucy Williams, sorry. And on offense, we've got Magali, Dathan, Neve Delaney, Sam Vile, Steve Colhammer, Lucy Barnes, and Anya Goppold.
Dathan looking for Colthammer up the line. Vile now looking for Colthammer down the channel. Lucy Barnes making a great cut, finding herself free and available. But hard running from the sock game team. Magali now. Finding Colthammer. Snyder bidding hard against that, but Dathan making a great cut into space. Is going to be a cut from the Great Britain into the end zone. Wasn't quite what he was looking for there. Vile fakes and flicks it up to Dathan, who rises and grabs high Front of the end zone, goes to the knees, and Lucy Barnes takes that low grab. 9-5. Great Britain keeping that 4-point margin.
Yeah, it seems very easy for the GB team to work that up. Took their time, took the right options, and really the disc didn't stop moving very smoothly through the handlers. I think the good old classic of everyone touched the disc pretty much, which is nice to see. Not a prerequisite of scoring, obviously. We all like one pass ultimate as well. GB looking very solid. Not much else to say really. Let's see what the Americans can give them on next point.
So Anna Ching using the hashtag Windmill 2016 to get in touch with us on Twitter, asking the question, what does sock game mean? Well, if you'll notice, all of them are wearing a variety of different socks. So it is a reference to that, but it's also a reference to the fact that this team are based out of Seattle, and that's the link bit that brings all these players together, both the Americans and the Russians. Sockeye have been across to Russia on a couple of occasions to run elite skills clinics, and into Europe to run the elite skills clinics, and the connection is what brings the Americans from Sockeye and the Seattle area ultimate and the Russian counterparts together. Nate Castine, Heidi Marie Wiggins, fast cutting from Nora Carr. A quick feet, and she's wearing the stars and stripes socks. Wiggins again. Castine low, kips it up from the floor. Pressure underneath. Oh, fast bid from Great Britain, but not able to get onto it. Heidi Marie Wiggins with the disc still. Sock game looking to move it quickly now. Nora Carr coming unavailable. Oh, so it's not. That's Rita. Margarita Pashakova to Castine again. Castine floats the disc over the top. Heidi Marie Wiggins picks it out ahead of an absolutely horizontal Callum Easton for Great Britain. Couple of risky discs in there from Sock Game, playing the low percentage choices on a couple of occasions, and Easton completely horizontal on twice during that point, but not able to get the turn.
Yeah, the sole Scot on the GB mixed team, Callum Easton, really putting the effort in, and he's an absolute terror to play against. I've played against him a few times when he was on Black Eagles and when he's at university, and you really have to cut hard and make sure you catch the disc, because he's going to be on your shoulder and bidding, and potentially the player that's put the most effort in for this squad, having to come to training from Scotland. He's probably had to travel the furthest, and in fact yesterday he told me that it's quicker for him to come here than it is to go training regularly, so he must maybe enjoy more windmill tournaments. GB have called for 4 women, probably a very savvy technique with way more women on their sideline than Sock Game, and we're in.
Idaho spinning that disc down. Dathan and Godbold kicking us off. Vile as the cup come and set again. Dathan taking that one-handed and far-reaching. Anya just busting through that cup. Vile, the disc just beyond him. Godbold trying to exploit the gap beyond the side of the cup. Didn't manage to make it work this time. They've given the disc to the American-Russian mix-up squad. The Sock Game. And they're going to... Lucy Williams brings the disc down to where it went out. It was curling back in, but it left the pitch immediately after Godbold released it. Darting around there under the attention of Sam Vile is Sam Harkness, and Idaho goes to ground, having to really lay himself out to get onto that, and asks the same of Lucy Williams in return. You're going to put that one out for me, you can have one back as well. Nora Carr keeping the disc alive, and back to Williams again. Williams has lost her headband on the floor there, but she's still got it. To Carr again. These women, not a problem for them to run the 4 women line, I don't think. They've got strength in depth, Williams and Carr. And further down, they've got Anna Pushtavara and Anna-Marie Pape as well. Harkness now. Nice 1-2 with Carr. She was set off at a pace straight down the line. Harkness coming back underneath. Those two understanding each other very well indeed. Idaho spins round. Carr coming underneath. Available Pushtavara. Idaho darting around, high stall count, big disc into the end zone. There's going to be pressure underneath this. Harkness reads it so well, takes it high, no complaints from Vile. Great read. Oh, and a complaint on the throw. Was it a stall out? It was extremely close. It's a contested stall out. Great position from Harkness.
Yeah, a lovely read there, straight over Vile. I think what kind of messed up the throw was that a few of the cuts just stalled. Either under or deep, meaning there was a bit of clogging going on. And so she just had to put that disc up and hope that Harkness came down with it. But it sounds like it was a contested stall.
Okay, not very many points on that stall left. Huge read, straight high takedown. Dathan with it again. Anya Godbold darting around there. Spins the disc across to Vile. Vile's got time, and he's got a fast-cutting Robert White to aim at. And he hit. Sorry, that's Turner. Disc up. It's going to be floating high. Lucy Barnes trying to reach it, but the pressure from Nora Carr maybe distracted her, maybe got a fingertip touch to it. Nora Carr from the Brute squad. Oh, Barnes played for. So Lucy Barnes used to play for Brute squad. David's with all the information about the players here. It's going to be a sub. Or they're just trying to pick up the headband that Lucy dropped previously. There's been a sub. So Dathan, who took a bit of a dive earlier in that one to retrieve a disc, may have caught an injury. Freeman has replaced him. The Sock Game. Well, the Sock Game have taken a sub as well. Quite sure which of their players have swapped. Castine running hard. Williams, Harkness. Harkness looking for options. Finds Williams available, anchoring this handling line. Harkness just got such quick feet, it's almost impossible to stop him making great cuts. Bid from Freeman in front of Castine. And Freeman not going to enjoy discussing this one.
Yeah, it looks like he was pretty sure he got there first, but I think Castine potentially had quite a lot of control. Might be contested. Yeah, it's contested. He goes back.
So there's a couple of good matchups on the pitch here. Vile and Harkness, and Freeman and Castine. Two of them, two pairs, both in very tight contests. And Lucy Williams showing Lucy Barnes a clean pair of heels as she gets free and available. Castine again sends it deep into the end zone. Two Sock Game players reading it beautifully and bringing it down. Anna-Maria Pape from the Undergrounds team. And Sock Game got another point. They brought it back within 2. We're into a really great game here, David. 9-7 the score.
Yeah, the pressure from GB wasn't quite enough there, and they just sat off a little bit, allowing for that break space deep in the end zone. And Castine just had to sit it up for the players to run onto. You could see the frustration from some of the GB mix players. But if they keep it up, they keep it high, they've still got a 2-point buffer. They just need to pump a few more in and confirm their lead in this game.
The Great Britain Mixed team were telling me about their different lines that they have, which I think are all named after female pop stars. Yeah, Beyonce is one of the lines. Shakira is one of the lines. And I think Adele is the other. Yeah, but they also have a couple of other lines which they occasionally field. The big squads have always got a bit of a difficult decision working out how to organise players so that you get the advantages of a large number of legs, but also the advantages of players understanding each other and having chemistry. And so increasingly we're seeing individual lines selected from the squad and playing as a line regularly. And then occasionally in crunch matches you'll see more elite lines selected from that in real crunch situations, but no one likes to do that too much because it very quickly wears out players who are on the pitch for too many of the points. You occasionally see big players like Holger Butemuller we'll see in the Open final, who just seems to play every single point of the game. Big disc up, chasing down, Noblet underneath it. It's going to be pressure from two Sock Game players. No question that they had the position on there, Schneider and Pape. Dumenskaya now. Back to Pape. Disc to Schneider. Pape sends a big disc. It's going to be chased down hard, but there's pressure on here. And Matt Bevan chases it down, picks it out. Great D from Bevan. Read that perfectly. Had to do the legwork. Got up, put his body on the line. And Great Britain mixed, having to get themselves back under control here. Avril Hunter now looking at Steve Colthammer in the lane. James Freeman coming back to relieve the pressure. With disc over the top, and Nobler has to go down low to collect it, and he does. Colthammer's gone. He's floated it into the low, but Colthammer couldn't get it. The disc from Noblet was poor. The idea was right, and that's a turnover. Bevan walks back up, marking Schneider here. He's going to be frustrated having done all the work.
Yeah, a wonderful bid there by Matthew Bevan. It's the sort of D we expect of him. An ex-GB Open player, current Chevron Action Flash player. Really showing his class in coming and getting that D. But unfortunately not able to capitalise on it. Oh, but an overthrow still gets through the hands back to Sock Game.
The Sock Game team making mistakes. Frank Devon sends it big. Over the top, pressure from Bevan again, but Schneider brings it down. No mistake. And Bevan is just going to stay on the floor a minute and have a think about the call he's going to make here. It looks like he's having a relaxed Sunday afternoon chat. But the crowd respecting the decision making that's going on the pitch. So not a popular decision in the crowd there. Bevan claiming he was blocked, or that he would have had a bid on that D. Maybe a bit of hand contact or arm contact or shoulder contact as he was going up didn't allow him to have a good enough bid, but that discussion's been had. They couldn't agree about it, and the disc has come back for the rethrow. Heidi Marie Wiggins darting around. Great grab. Hands ahead. Pape. Pape's right across the pitch to Schneider. Schneider straight into the hands of the that's Nancy Rawlings there for Great Britain Mix, just knocking it down to the ground. Choice from Schneider of disc there was poor. And he's Freeman straight onto that timeout. The two sets of teams under this hot sun, looking a little bit tired. Freeman signaling for the water to come on. And myself and David Price bringing you the coverage from Sky Magazine's adventure in Amsterdam. The Windmill tournament, seeing some fantastic ultimate here in the mixed division final. Great Britain with a great first half, taking it to 4. But the second half, the Sock Game team, a makeup of Sockeye players and Seattle-based players and some pickups from Russia as well. A couple of the team are based in Amsterdam now, so they have come together for this tournament. Ben Wiggins coaching the side and making sure they all achieve everything they possibly can. One of the best coaches in the sport. And the team on the line are having a chat about what they should be doing, or the rest of the Great Britain mixed team are having a good old stretch.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a lull in the middle of this game. Both teams making a few little minor errors. I feel like both of them will start now trying to close that down and really focus in on the game. GB with a 2-point buffer. And now on offense to take it to a 3-point buffer.
So a couple of questions here from Hook and Trade, who's asking us, can you tell us roughly how tall your shooting scaffold is? As it gives quite a good viewing angle. I'm glad you're enjoying it. So it's probably 4 meters out, and I think it's probably about 11 meters from the sideline, a little bit closer than you would normally have it. And it's quite a wide angle lens, which allows us to use that position. Normally we'd be a little bit further out, maybe 15 meters out from the sideline, but it's not a high position. And Hilko Bukma, who's up in the camera tower, giving you the pictures. Mike Palmer and myself, Tom Stiles and David Price, the Skyed coverage team for you. Mike Noblett for Great Britain Mixed now looking for a shot up the line, but he's going to have to go reverse to Sam Vile. Checks James Freeman, wondering how he's going to make the cut. Jabs it forward. Avril Hunter now available. Hunter looking for an option. Freeman barging past. Very physical player, leaning into the option there. Sockeye will be comfortable with that. Hunter again. Noblett 5 yards out. Great Britain Mixed are looking to extend this to 10-7. Vile round the back. Great work, just manages to shake off the attentions of Jeff Pate. Vile with a super cut, drops the shoulder, disappears to the back of the end zone, and picked off with a lightning fast sidearm. Great point, 10-7.
Yeah, they were getting quite a lot of pressure there from the Sock Game team. A few bids across the force, but the calm heads of GB mixed handlers and cutters kept the disc moving, kept it in GB's hands, and swung it from this side of the pitch down to the other side of the pitch. Punched in for the goal. 10-7 to GB. I think they're calling for 4 men. If you're watching from home, please do send us a message or on Twitter, David_Price or @Tom Stiles. We'll try and answer any questions you have, or requests even.
Yeah, Dave Pitchler saying Bevan's been doing that for years. Matthew @Tapwix has been, says GB Sport representing across the continent. He's got one screen with the Andy Murray tennis in Paris. And Great Britain Mixed, the Skyed magazine coverage. We're bringing you from Amsterdam here from the Windmill, a premier European club, and this time national side championships. Lucy Williams, that disc is just bobbling around in the wind. Nora Carr collects it confidently though. She's been marked hard and looking for the down the line shot, but a little bit of a mix up. Nate Castine, bit of a big old bump there. He was trying to run around, I think it's Richard, is it Richard Taylor there? Yeah, he's currently disappeared from view. Johnny Clark there was trying to run around Nate Castine, but he didn't take too kindly to the contact that Johnny Clark gave him. Beautiful disc across to Sullivan. Sullivan looking to Castine again. Pressure from Robert Wright, reads that perfectly. And the two of them are having a conversation about this again, lying down in the Sunday afternoon picnic position, as I like to call it. Callum Easton offering a hand to say he's got a perspective he'd like to give as well. And they're going to send it back. Frank Devin Barrick from Sockeye with the cat ears on his head. Quite sure what the cat ears are related to. The disc from Sullivan was a low shot, trying to keep it under control in this stiff wind, high floaty discs. Castine and Sullivan completely miscommunicating there. Castine going up the pitch just as the disc came back, and I'm not sure what's happened, but there's been a stoppage further up. Harkness and Easton having a chat. And Margarita Parshakova having a conversation with Chrissy Baker. Bevan, the 37 shirt, as you will see him at Worlds. No number on the back of these training shirts that they're using in this tournament. And Barrick, there's battles aplenty here. Callum Easton has taken a blow from Barrick, and Castine and Johnny Clark are in a rare foot race as well. These two teams extremely well matched. Great Britain at the moment making less of the mistakes and putting more pressure on the Sock Game team. Sock Game have come out with a zone on a couple of occasions, and it's been a joy to watch the likes of Vile and Dathan and Godbold work it up through that cup. Chrissy having to go to the ground to keep that alive. Robert White just busting his way in front of Sam Harkness into the corner of the end zone. And that's a break. They're up again, 11-7.
Yeah, it's very well worked there by GB, taking the open options. I think
the sunshine's beating down, and wherever you are, I hope you're enjoying the coverage that Sky is able to bring you. Tom Stiles and David Price up here in the commentary box. You're watching the mixed final. Close game between Sock Game, a US-Russian conglomerate, and the Great Britain mixed squad in preparation for their appearance at the World Championships in London in 2 weeks' time. And the first games and the opening ceremony will be on Sunday morning. I'm the master of ceremonies for that opening ceremony, and then the opening game. But it's early doors, that first game, and kicking off, and then games in the afternoon. So as soon as the games gets underway, we're going to be at full flow in London. Freeman just giving Harkness a bit too much close attention, barging into him. Sock Game moving it. Dumanskaya has completed pass anyway, and Harkness collects. Jeff Pape collects. Was there a stoppage on play?
I think what might have happened is that I think is it Pape was being marked by Rayner, and he thought that there was a potential call, and he's now retracted said call because he stopped playing D, thinking there was one. There probably was a call by Dina, but it was picked up by Harkness to get the goal. So now 11-8. We've got a few questions on Twitter that come in. So Hayley Summers has asked, will we be seeing any of the Sock Game players at WGC? I believe some of the Russian girls will be playing. We've already mentioned that Heidi Wiggins is playing on the USA Women's Masters team, I believe. And some of the Sockeye players are probably on the mixed or open team for the USA, but I can double check some of the names against the rosters as they've been out a while. We've just had a Idaho coming up to us and saying he's injured his Achilles a little bit. I hope he gets fixed soon. Who else we got here? Max Peter says, do you think some other teams other than the USA or Canada have the potential to win any division in London? It's hard to say. I mean, we would always favour currently the Canadians, the Americans, or even the Japanese in the women's division. I really think they have a good shout at taking the title. this mixed team, the GB mixed team, have a very good shout getting into quarters and semis, as do the open team. But we'll have to wait and see. There's a very, very strong American showing coming across to London. It'll take some very good play by the teams to stop them taking the championships. Sock game pulling out with Anya Godbold and Dom Dathan bricking it.
In line with the cone. There is no brick mark on the pitch because it's an Astro pitch. Disc has gone up. It's going to have to be a hard chase down there. Harkner's chasing it down, and he takes it. Beautifully worked. Not able to catch it up. The disc from Godbold was not particularly well read by the Great Britain receiver, Sam Turner. And Harkness and him had a great chase down there. Oh, floaty over the top of Lucy Williams. Magali's got it. Matsumiya. Sam Vile. Dom Dathan, not Matt Dathan. He has a brother. Short of the end zone. Godbold looking for a shot in. There it is. Cutting from the back of the end zone. Great Britain mixed. Take another point. 12-8.
Yeah, well mentioned there, Matt Dathan. If you do know Matt Dathan, he's a Kapow player. The Dathan family, the backbone of UK Ultimate, with Sid Dathan from Chevy days. He actually was playing London Calling last week. It was good to see him back on the field. Matt Dathan, as already mentioned, playing for Kapow. Dom here, Chevron and GB mixed player. And then Frances Dathan, their sister, was also played for Punt and Cambridge mixed in Lecco, and often Black Eagles as well. So now GB up 12-8, looking very strong at the moment, taking every single opportunity that the American Sock Game team are giving them. Sock Game looking a bit behind the mark, a bit behind the running. But when they do turn it on, they do look good. I mean, they're able to move the disc very well, and they are very athletic. I think they're just a bit far behind this GB team who've come out very strong early on in this game.
I've got a big shout from Ravi Vasudevan, who's been commentating on a few games for Sky this weekend. Ravi, new to the colour commentary scene, and I'm sure a lot of people have enjoyed his contribution. Dina Dumanskaya manages to find Sullivan. Pustavara. And now Carr. The crowd being very vocal about how they feel about Bevan calling that up. He's just had the conversation. He's coming in on 0. There's no stall. Coming in on 0. 3-2-1 disc in. And obviously retracted. Snyder. Looking to Pape. Pape takes it high. Sullivan's cutting deep. A few lefty release to Wiggins is beautiful. Pushed down to the ground though. The lefty release from Wiggins as he started his run deep was a real textbook technique if you want to learn that one. And we see Mara Alpern finding availability down that far sideline. Back to Alpern again. Across to Huang. Layla Dennison now. Back to Huang. The three ladies handling across the back of this line. Shot into there. Oh, Bevan, huge in front of Sullivan. Brings it down and finds Chrissy Hunter in the front of the end zone for GB Mixed. And not shy of getting up and getting physical with this American team. 13-8, Great Britain Mixed lead in this mixed division final from the Windmill tournament in Amsterdam.
Yeah, Matthew Bevan having a stormer of a game. He's really stepped up in this final. Well worked in there by GB for 13-8. Just had a quick tweet from Patrick Fort-Campremé, always helpful. Gave me the USA team lists, and I don't think any of these players got onto the national teams. They are some very good players, though, no doubt about it. Is this a timeout? I can't tell.
Just worth having a quick chat about what myself and David and the rest of the Skyed crew are doing, contributing to the WFDF video project that's going to be running at Worlds. If you're not familiar with there was a huge Kickstarter campaign that took place over the early part of this year, trying to raise money to make sure that the coverage we bring you from London is the best we possibly can be. We've got a crack team of commentators and contributors, both on the technical side, on the documentary making side, and on the commentary side. Myself and David are part of that team. I described us as a crack team there, David. I hope you didn't mind.
Not crap team, crack team.
Crack, like in really good.
Not like drug crack. No, okay, good. That was good. That's good.
Brian Jones, Megan Multani, and Evan Lepler are the other three commentators, and I think there'll be some contributors from other commentators, because we're going to try and do two pitches. We raised $83,000 on the Kickstarter campaign. We don't necessarily see all of that money directly, but it is allowing us to do an awful lot. There's a full outside broadcast van that's going to allow us to do very professional level coverage of the main pitches, and there's also going to be a full 80-minute show made of the finals and all the stories leading up to the finals, which I hope we'll all be able to contribute to. We've got people making documentaries about individual teams and individual stories. 120 teams in London for the World Ultimate and Guts Championships, and we're going to see some spectacular Ultimate from the best players in the world coming together at a venue which is pretty much perfect for Ultimate. A vast space of very good quality pitches that are very well maintained by a dedicated ground crew who were there for under 23s last year, a big tournament put on by almost exactly the same group of people that will be putting on this year's World Championships. Cy Hill, John Pugh, Luke Tobizovic. He's TDing up until the point where the games start, apparently. And then he's going off to actually play in the tournament. He has no further involvement, but he's around. He's around. Nora Carr for sock game now. Big bid from Bevan. Bevan's got a taste for a bit of turnover action here. Harkness goes to the knees and catch with an outstretched hand. Can't have been comfortable, but he kept it alive. Caiston with the disc, but a pick has been called in the middle of the stack. Dennison signalling that. Commentated on the World's final in Vancouver, USA versus Canada back in 2008, where both Sam Harkness and Nate Castine and Baden Wiggins, who's currently on the sideline as a coach for this team, were all playing in that game. So it's good to see them over here in Europe, still active, still competing at a very high level. Castine floating, that's going to get caught in the wind. Who's going to be pressure? A grab from Amp. And a grab from the Great Britain player, which I believe is Mara Alpern, and that's returned to Great Britain. Anna Maria Pape. Huang across to the far side of the pitch. Clark pokes it through the middle. It's going to be Dennison underneath this. We're going to be some great pressure from Nora Carr, who read it better than any of the receivers. Sam Harkness to Nate Castine. Sock game, not prepared to lie down and take this one yet. Big disc up. Alpern's read that and just watches it go to the ground. Anna Maria Pape didn't realise the disc was up. She probably could have made a bid on that, but it was already coming underneath. before the disc arrived. Alperen. Straight throwaway. Baric with the disc. Floats it into Nate Castine. Easy score and a giveaway from Great Britain mixed. Sock game capitalising quickly. Bringing it back to a difference of 4. They still trail Great Britain mixed by 13-9.
Yeah, they're a bit pinned back there. Not many options outfield. Just took on a few risky shots. With this sort of buffer, they should be fine. But you really don't want to let a team like this back into a game, so you've got to be careful. They don't give them too many of those sort of points. A couple of tweets that have come in whilst we've been talking. Had one from Varsha Yeshwant, one of the Indian players for Team India Women. Thanks you for the awesome commentary. A Sunday evening well spent. We are watching closely. We're glad you're enjoying it, and we look forward to seeing you in London. Looks like Kapow are also enjoying watching their players of Johnny Clark and Smat Hodgson, who are in the mixed final right now. Keep watching, boys. Game here now is at 13-9. GB on offense.
Dathan and Godbold kicking this one off. Fast disc to Sam Rayner. And downfield. Oh, the disc is going to get caught in the wind. Barrick reads it well. Dathan over Dathan's head straight away. The crosswind is causing a bit of chaos. We see that one bobble forward, but Sock game keeping the disc under control. These into the wind passes. Heidi Marie Wiggins and Lucy Williams exchanging discs. Williams has got it now. Wiggins are making themselves available. Harkness again adjusting his moves. So light on his feet. Back to Williams. Back to Wiggins. Coming across the pitch. Happy to keep it moving. And cuts coming out of the end zone now. 2 players, but the Sock game women happy to keep it moving at the moment. And just enough pressure, but Harkness clears it up second time. Just max it forward into the breeze. A bit of a charge down in the end zone. Wiggins reads it, dives at it, brings it down. Sock game getting closer and closer. They've got within 3 now. 13-10. The team from America and Russia are not going to take this one lying down. They're not going to let Great Britain Open take this one in the mixed final.
Yeah, just like I was saying last point, you cannot let a team like this back into a game. They need to pick up the pace and make sure they keep hold of the disc. Take a few deep breaths and play the game they were playing earlier. They were playing nice and simple offense and keep the disc moving away from the defenders. There's a few too many throws and options that are just a bit risky.
Great play from the Americans, though. Harkness in particular has had an outstanding couple of points there. He's not necessarily getting the best service with the disc, but he's able to adjust and very light on his feet, jumping around, keeping that disc active, macking it forward to himself. Not deliberate, but takes a lot of alertness and quickness of mind in the situation. Doesn't quite go your way to make sure your team stay in control. And solid handling at the back there from Williams and Wiggins. And 2 ladies controlling the disc well in the wind. Great Britain making a couple of mistakes with the crosswind and the breeze picking the disc up, and Barrick picking it off for that turnover. Snyder with a huge disc all the way down the pitch. Vile lets it land and then quickly dishes it forward to Freeman. Freeman arrives at pace. Magali turns, fakes. Freeman going up the line. PY chasing. Over the top. Oh, that's a huge grab from Noblet. Had to go very high. Freeman coming back. It's a low disc though, forward. Nice to Asher Collier. Oh, but Nate Castine reading the disc. Goes across the top of Sam Vile. I'm not sure I like that call, to be honest.
I think I got the name wrong there, but Weil was stationary and Castine came over his shoulder. I think his argument is that he got a lot of contact as Castine went over the top of him, but I'm not sure if he would have had the disc. It's a very interesting call, and it's really up to these two players, I think, to make this call as to whether the contact affected him catching the disc or not. Yep, and he's declined it for a turnover. It's a very good spirit there from Sam. I think he was just checking to make sure the contact hadn't changed the play, and that he was actually a legitimate bid.
Castine to Snyder. Cutting down the line again. Castine, real burst of pace. It's hard to keep up. Doesn't put the big put up. Now slides it down the line to Snyder again. The two of them really working it nicely. Pressure from Great Britain, but it's not enough to stop the score in the corner. And we see Margarita Parshakova pulling that one down from the sky with an easy score. And Sock Game putting it to him. 2 points they trail.
Yeah, GB have really let their foot off the pedal a bit here, allowing the American-Russian pickup team to get back in this game. I'm getting a bit nervous sitting in my chair, not mostly because I'm full of water, but because this game is getting really tight.
I think we were both quite relaxed about the result of this game about 10 minutes ago, but not anymore. The Americans have shown an awful lot of skill using their big players. Snyder and Castine down that sideline. We've got some very fast players on Great Britain, the Great Britain side, but not able to keep up with the athleticism of the big Americans. I think Snyder's actually Dutch himself, but has played across in the Seattle area and currently living in Amsterdam. But meeting up with old friends and new friends here in the Windmill, the party atmosphere and the elite ultimate coming together in the sunshine of Amsterdam. Oh, pressure from Snyder again. There's no disc going to get past him. Williams not quite managing to intercept that. Not quite sure why she was so far away from the person she was marking, but Weil has got the disc on the sideline again. Oh, sorry. And Dathan down the line. Turn of pace. Sam Turner just right on the end zone line, looking for an option, looking for a reset. Down the line. Spins it. High stall count, had to let it go. Harkness now. Great Britain managed to get the disc down to the end zone. Dumanskaya to Harkness, a great disc. That is beautiful. Flow and continuation. A disc hard, going to be bid. Beautiful work from Snyder. Read it, used his body to block out the oncoming defender. Karnow, low disc to Schneider, gets down and throws his entire body onto the floor. Dina ran to Williams. Williams looking for an option into the end zone here. Sock Game, the disc from Williams is poor and it goes out of bounds. Harkness can't adjust despite his energy and enthusiasm and his ability to rescue discs have looked beyond him so far this game. Even he couldn't rescue that one. Williams uncharacteristic in her era. And Great Britain mixed, given another opportunity to start from the back with Dathan. Sam Turner sends the big shot up. Lucy Barnes isn't going to be able to chase that down. Lucy Barnes putting in full effort. She's got some wheels, but the disc was beyond her. And Sock Game another opportunity.
I think GB now are getting a bit nervous. They really want to punch these goals in, and that means they're taking on riskier shots. Let's just hope they can get this turn back. The Sock Game are playing a very good game, especially in this second half, of punching in the goals that the GB are giving them.
Harkness. Pustavara. Dumanskaya. Oh, that's a bit of a horizontal tackle from Dathan. Yeah. Godbold marking. It's Pustavara again. Just beyond the outstretched fingers of Dumanskaya. It's going to be a fast cut, a quick start. Can Godbold hit her? She is gone for the big disc. Is it going to be just shy? Just in the end zone. Great Britain mixed, capitalising on the miscommunication between the two Russian ladies. Dominskaya going to the ground, but it's beyond her fingers. And Ben Wiggins signals Great Britain within one of this game.
Yeah, very unlucky for Sok game there. A little miscommunication between Pustuvaya and her reset, and unable to keep hold of it. GB let off there, but a lovely throw by Godbold to New Delaney in the end zone. Game to 15, with the Sok game only 3 points behind them. Let's see if they can get a break and finish the game out. If not, they've got a couple more chances. I'm getting nervous already just thinking about it.
Sky Magazine's coverage with your commentators Tom Stiles, it's myself and David Price. On the camera is Hilko Bukma, and pressing the buttons behind me as the wizard of video, Mr. Mike Palmer. Elliot Trotter has been around, the Skyed head honcho, all weekend, playing for Catch-Up Graz in the Open Division and enjoying the atmosphere of the tournament. Great pull that. Allowed the defense to fully establish themselves before the disc even got to Jeff Pape. Nate Castine now. Outstretched. Chrissy Hunter not able to bring it down. Barrick now. Looking for a reset. Finds Pape available on the far side of the pitch. Down the line to Sullivan. Sullivan's going to get a bit of a block there from Freeman. Into the end zone. Oh, beautiful work from Sullivan to Anna Maria Pape for the score. It's 14-12.
Yeah, some nice close defense there, including a nice bid from Chrissy Hunter, but unable to apply enough pressure to get a turn. I've had a few tweets from people. I'll get through them now just before hopefully the last point, with it being 14-12, game to 15. We're of course very neutral, unbiased as always. Chris Bamford, my favourite, has said, no mention of Hayley Summers. Of course we should mention Hayley Summers as one of the organisers of WGC, one of the people employed by UKU to do a lot of the organising, and without people like her we wouldn't have the tournament that we're about to have, and she does a great job. We've got Downing College Ultimate saying that the alumni Sam Turner looking rather sexy for GB Mixed. Yep, he's doing a great job. Adeline Tan rooting for GB Mixed team. The Islanders from Penang are watching and supporting Chrissy. Of course, Chrissy from that part of the world. A shout out to the Warriors of Mara, Lily and Susanna in the GB Mixed final. Yep. And again, Vivian Lim supporting Chrissy from Penang. And here we go. GB Mixed on offense. Game to 15 in this humdinger of a game between Sok game and GB Mixed. Godbold fielding the pull.
And we see the familiar figure of Dom Dathan with his characteristic red hair, but looking for a reset, eventually finds one. Not sure if odd options that she's got. Rayner back to Dathan. Dathan swings it across to Godbold. Hodgson here on this near side, back to Godbold. Rayner now. We've seen the Sok game move away from their cup. Barnes now. Nice cut, or just Amp just poaching off and trying to get that block, but it's managed to arrive safely in the hands of the GB Mixed player, Sam Rayner. Godbold again playing an absolute storming match here as the handler. Dathan to Godbold, swings across the pitch beautifully. Jams it up the line. Lucy Barnes now right on the edge of the end zone, looking to score this one and take the game. Can she find an option? But she's going to have to reset back to Dathan. Dathan's here. He's waving at the players to clear out of the lane. And Godbold scores it. Dathan to Godbold. The story of that point, the story of the game. Solid handling from those two and the rest of the Great Britain team. Beautiful play against a strong USA and Russian team who've come together for this tournament in Amsterdam. They've played magnificently and represented themselves. They've really put it to Great Britain mixed, but Great Britain, the team in red, victorious in this one. 15-12 is the final score.
Yeah, GB came out very strong at the beginning of that game, but Sock Game never gave up, came back in the second half and played a very good half of Ultimate. Luckily, GB had enough of a gap to take it away, and all credit to them. Some very good defensive pressure as well as some very smooth offense. So join us in a few more moments. Sky Magazine's coverage of Windmill 2016 with Tom Stiles and David Price. We're going to be doing the open final between France national team and Bad Skid. That'll be in a couple more moments, so tune in for that.